Hi everyone, welcome to A Minute with a Monkey, transmitting from Screaming Monkey Comics in Munster, Indiana. I'm still practicing my diction because if I don't practice this, I start to slur my words and I come off as drunk, and that's not good. But if you're watching, visit our website, screamingmonkeycomics.com, like and subscribe to our show. Thanks for swinging by. I'm John. Joining me this week is my good friend Mark Hagan. His lady Katie, how are you?
Good.
Thanks for joining us. How the hell are you guys doing this fine day?
We're doing good.
Yeah.
Doing well.
Yeah.
It's been so long since I've seen you.
I know. It's been like 2 days.
Periodically, I run into you.
Yeah, it's been a few days.
I decided something today, and I want a baby changing station in the men's room.
Okay.
I just decided, just idle thought here. When I use the facilities, I want a place to put my keys and glasses and phone, my wallet. It's always nice at the, at the Target. That's always cool to have that. I want that. Why can't I have that in our bathroom?
You can put whatever you want in your bathroom. It's your bathroom.
Yeah, I think I might. I don't know if I'll need landlord approval, but I'm seriously thinking. Yeah, not the ladies. Hell with that. I only have in the budget, for just one, but
yeah.
Maybe another one later in 2025. But
see how it works out.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
Progressive.
I'm a flurry of good ideas all the time. Most of them get shot down because I don't make all the calls in this joint, but some of them I like.
Hey, you never know. Somebody might have a kid with them. It could come in handy.
Well, someone may legitimately use it for its actual purpose. Right. So then, it's kind of a double win.
Yeah.
So, all right. Look into baby
I
station.
don't know who you would call to go about that.
Well, I'm sure if anybody knows, just please send me some recommendations. Is Angie's List still a thing? I can figure. I'm a grown man. I can figure it out. So we got a lot of things to talk about today, and that's why I invited you on the show. We'll get to if you're watching this, spoiler alert, we are going to talk today about Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire. So if you haven't watched it yet, skip to the end. There will be a charming video with all the cool stuff coming out this week, or watch next week after you see the movie. But we're going to talk about that today after we get past the other news of the week. Did you hear CGC has made a momentous announcement?
Yes, they bought out JSA so they can start doing autographs and.
I knew you'd be on top of it.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm looking forward to it. I have a stack of stuff already waiting, ready to go. Sketch covers, you name it. Once they put out their criteria of what we can do,
right,
I'm ready to go.
About April, they're going to do that. And for those of you who don't know, CGC up till now has not done signature verification. If you get your comic signed by your favorite artist and you send it in, it's going to come back with a big ugly green label saying it's been signed. We're not going to verify who it is. We can't tell you one way or another. We don't want to get in the middle of that. But now they've purchased, it's James Spence authentication.
Yep.
In the comic book industry, calling yourself JSA is probably could lead to confusion.
It could, but that's what it's known for. And like anyone who's done a lot of high-end collectibles with autographs, we all have come across it in our things.
Right.
Like Katie has a Michael Myers pop signed and verified by them, so we're familiar with it.
Okay. So this is expected to start in April. They're going to be adding to their services and determine pricing. We're a drop point for CGC, so we'll be adding that service too. I'm not happy about it because I have to do a whole new brochure now.
Oh no.
A whole new brochure.
Oh no, John, a whole new brochure.
Other than that, I think this is a good idea. If you have a green label unverified signature CGC book, you can send it in. They'll be setting it up so you can send it in, verify the signature, and then regrade it. I'm assuming the team who will be opening the slabs will not include the dude who participated in the CGC tampering scam last year. I think he's going to jail.
He is.
Have you heard?
I heard he's getting the pantsuit off.
They've identified the guy.
Yeah, I think it's two people.
Yeah.
Maybe?
I'm
not up on it as much as I should be.
He has been. I looked into a little today. He's been, obviously forbidden to do anything CGC related until the case is done.
Yeah.
I guess he's not in jail or anything waiting for that. But
No, I think it's a civil suit. They're suing
Yeah.
for money.
yeah.
So
Oh, there's going to be a lot.
I know
of
when I
lost.
heard something, it was a couple $1 million, and
This sounds like a class action lawsuit to me.
might be.
At the
because
very least, for everyone who got affected or kind of screwed over.
Just
by
be
this.
happy that you didn't come across that Hulk 181 during that time, because that's one of the big books that's in the scandal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. My loss.
Yeah.
Oh, and while we're on the subject, I got something for you.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
yeah.
Oh.
How'd you like some CGC books that you
Oh,
that you
look at
requested
this.
there?
Yeah.
There we go. Those are for you, my good man.
Oh.
CGC, we got our new shipment of CGC books in today. This is
Yeah.
absolutely gorgeous, and I'm sorry. I'm showing it to him. I'm sorry you're not seeing. We're showing the photos right now. I'll drop these photos up. We got the crow here. That
Yeah.
kind. Pretty good grade for book back in the 90s.
I paid $1 for the book, so I'm pretty happy about it.
Please remind me to take photos of these before you leave here. Green Lantern #1, gorgeous. How many copies of that do you own?
10 different foil variants
Yeah.
alone. That's not including the A, B, C, and D. The one in 25 and the 1 in 50 for that book.
Well, here's what I got. This is going up on the shelf. We did get a copy of Ultimate Black Panther #1. Really tough one to get. It is the first printing.
The book that disappeared.
Yeah, about 20,000 copies of that was lost by a random house on delivery. We're not sure exactly what happened, except the 10 we ordered. We got ours. A lot of other stores weren't so lucky. It was a 9.6 of a. It's not as popular as it was before. Strange Academy #1, but yeah, still pretty good. Yeah.
Spider-Boy.
First appearance of Spider-Boy. We went and got that graded.
The one character I have known nothing about and have stayed away from.
He'll be in a movie eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah,
And
he'll be the next thing. soon.
this one's not for sale, but I had to get that
Oh,
for
nice.
myself. That's
9.6.
yeah, that's my. I cannot believe that my copy of Ultimate Black Panther #1 got graded lower than a book that I just wrote. True, so
That's cool though.
My second book I just finished the interior. So,
Nice.
yeah, I'll be doing a Kickstarter for that pretty soon.
Yeah.
Those are yours. These are mine.
Yeah,
And,
no, that's
cool.
pretty exciting.
Yeah, we got them, and we got some good 9.8s here. So I like to point that out that we do a pretty good job of sending them out so they don't get bent. You know, if they're
Yeah.
9.8s when they leave here, they're going to come back.
Or 9.9s, because we have had
That
one.
was a cool one.
Yeah, we did get a 9.9 comeback.
I can't even make a 9.9. I made that book and it can't even come back as a 9.9.
I don't know how that happened.
It's a conspiracy against me.
Put in what 100 books and I got one 9.9.
It's a conspiracy against me. Let's go over some of our favorite comic book covers that came out this week.
Okay.
Why don't you start? What's one of your favorite covers?
I'm gonna start with, since we're on the topic of Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters back in town. I don't know why. I just really enjoy it. It's kind of got a feel. The nondescript background. It feels like it could be at a Shell station in the city while they're going back to New York, dragging the Ecto along. I just enjoy. I enjoy it. I don't know why.
And that's a B cover, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the B cover.
Yeah. It's very atmospheric.
Yeah, it said it's. If you've ever been getting gas in a random sketchy Shell station in the city, you've been in this picture.
When I moved to the city to work in acting, there were several sketchy gas stations on the way back from auditions.
Yep.
I went to, and I'm glad I wasn't a young teenage boy fueling up in the south side of Chicago. I like this one. I don't know much about it. I think it's written more for the teenage audience, but it's a primer at #1. I dig the cover. I might have to give this a look too. No, it looks cute. This almost looks like a Pixar was a comic book.
Yes.
This is the sort of thing they would draw, but I like the use of colors on that.
Yeah, I like that.
What else you got?
Let's see. We got Power Girl, which number 7,
Power Girl has
Women's
been getting,
History Month variant.
I enjoy that cover.
Power Girl has been getting a lot of good covers. She's almost becoming. I hate to say I like Power Girl myself, but She's becoming the DC Comics version of Lady Death or Red Sonja. Both her and Poison Ivy right now. People are collecting her covers.
I don't
They
know
like
who
the
did
story.
this, but it's a beautiful cover.
They're not reading the story, but they love the covers.
Yeah.
Speaking of covers, X-Men 97, the animated series, is back on Disney Plus. There is a comic book tie-in, and I kind of dig this cover.
I like that a lot. That's really nice.
That's a great one. I do not know who drew it because I didn't have time to do all my research today.
It's okay. Power Goal, they didn't say.
BH, I believe that's Ben Harvey, just going by the initials. But it's a gorgeous cover.
It is.
What else you got?
Green Lantern number 5.
Yeah.
I should say Alan Scott Green Lantern number 5.
Well, you like all the Green Lantern covers.
I do, but I really like this one because it looks like an old 40s cover of Green Lantern.
That's one of those lost. That's the Red Lantern.
The lost character, the Red Lantern.
The one from the 40s that was really just introduced. Very recently.
Yeah,
right?
It turns out he's the earliest Red Lantern, and he's a Soviet, and it's just, I don't know. I've been digging the 40s covers. I like the throwbacks.
Okay.
Alan Scott has it in his own series.
Is that set in the 40s during his heyday?
Yes, this is set in the 40s during his heyday. This is setting up for, which if you're reading JSA, it's tying in with him and his daughter. And
they will never let the JSA die. No matter how far we get from World War II, the JSA will never die.
Oh, they got their own Earth now, and they've got their own set of stories. They got, which is fun. They're fun characters.
Good. Next topic, the nice folks, we were just talking about this earlier. Nice folks of the Times did a pretty cool story on this weekend. Thanks, that was Joseph Pete, and thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. It was about our expansion to this bigger location, which was super cool of them. I don't want to go over too much about the article. It was very nice. It was just a nice article about how...
read it.
Yeah,
it's on the Times. Look up Screaming Monkey.
It was a nice article about how we've gone to a bigger place, and it was cool. But one of my favorite side effects was one of the area malls contacted me to say, congratulations, would you like to open up an outlet in their facility? I'm not going to say which mall, but it was a flattering offer. I'm not offended. I'm not, I'm flattered. It was very nice, but I'll get that out of the way right now. But we just moved.
Yeah.
It was no deal. I'm not going to move again.
Just move.
But
getting set up.
To be clear, though, the rep, he was trying to sell me on opening a seasonal kiosk or a pop-up store, something like that. Something to grow even more.
Christmas time with Monkey.
Yeah.
Right. Now, the reason I brought this up on the show, not to talk about the article, but outside the movie Mallrats, have you ever known a successful comic book store to operate in a shopping mall?
I was just thinking that as you said that they, contacted you to talk about that. I'm like, I don't think I've ever been. I've been to a lot of malls in my heyday.
Yeah.
And I was a mall rat, and I cannot think of one that had a legitimate comics shop inside the mall.
And part of the reason for me is because, as a comic book fan myself, I don't want to walk the 20 minutes it will take from the parking lot past all the other stores, past the pretzel kiosk I don't need to visit for the 8th time.
You don't need the Auntie Anne's garlic butter
Just to go somewhere
comics.
for 2 minutes to get my comics
Yeah.
right now. Right. So it's kind of it's inconvenient I think for it to be in a mall.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen in a mall. Like strip malls, yes,
Yeah.
that's about the extent of it. But a mall, no. I've
But it
never...
would be interesting to for a pop-up or a kiosk. I feel like.
You see, you're my focus group. That's why I'm bringing this up. Should I, are they, are we getting that big, or are they just getting desperate?
No,
which is it?
What I'm thinking is if all those calendar pop-up kiosks can actually make it, and they come back every year, it's calendars.
Right. But that's what I'm asking. Are they? And what would we carry really, other than I think truckloads of dollar comics.
Funko Pops. Lots of Funko Pops. Those do well for the holidays. People like those for Christmas presents.
That's true. But I also I remember the River Oaks Mall. They used to have during the summer. They would bring in outdoor. People would come in and sell, and it was almost like a giant flea market inside the mall.
Yeah.
So you would have. I think that was one of the only times I would see comic books and stuff because they'd have back issue boxes and stuff like that of magazines as well. that works, that would be something different.
To be fair, we'll just cut to the end of this conversation. I'm not planning to open up a kiosk
That's
at the
fair.
mall. Yeah, I'm not. I think it was really cool for them to invite us, and that's neat. I'm more interested thinking about perhaps doing C2E2.
That'd be awesome.
Not this year, for God's sakes. It's about a month away. But
Oh, is it?
it's
I
right
didn't
around
think
the
it was in
corner. What's my
August.
tickets?
No, it's Fan
I need
Fest.
my tickets, by the way. Yeah, it's
FanFest is in August. It's C2E2's at end of April this year.
isn't it the week before Free Comic Book Day?
I think it is. It's the week or two. It's a week or two. It's
I
close.
do believe it's the week before Free
I didn't
Comic
know
Book
it was
Day.
coming
God
up
help
that
us.
quick. Huh.
Yeah, it's right around the corner. Yeah, I absolutely. I'm pretty sure it's the week before Free Comic Book Day. I was just doing the April calendar of all the events that we have here. Oh, God help us. All right. Well, that's like everything else in my life. That's something I'm going to deal with next week or the week after. I don't know. So the reason I asked you today is because I know you're a passionate fan of Ghostbusters. You have been for quite a while. Before we get into it, tell me about the charity that you're involved with, and more specifically, tell the nice people about the charity you're
Okay,
involved
so
with.
we run the South Shore Ghostbusters, and we generally we raise money. The two charities we do the most, we do Shriners Children's Hospital in the city of Chicago, and we help the Shriners kids, and whatever we raise, we go right to the hospital, and then we usually do in the fall for the NWI Bat Conservation.
Yeah.
We do a pancake breakfast and do a big fundraiser for that and help them out every year.
Cool. Do we have a link for?
I can get you one.
Yeah, well, give me one so we can. And I'm assuming that between the video that we're shooting now and the time that we post this, we will have gotten the link.
Oh, yeah.
So I can add that. So check the description of this video. I'm sure the link to it is there, and help them out because you guys do a good job. And it's more than just showing up at kids' birthday parties.
We actually don't do a whole lot of.
Dancing
We
to-
actually don't do a whole lot of birthday parties.
You know what I'm talking about.
But
yes.
yeah, the Ghostbusters 2. Let's have fun.
I love that scene.
It's a great scene.
So once again, for those of you at home who have not seen it, this is your official spoiler warning. We're going to talk about Ghostbusters here. And you were a guest of Sony, I believe,
Yes,
right?
we were at the Chicago premiere press screener. I got to go there with one of our guys, and there was 7 Ghostbusters groups from around the Midwest.
Like an army of...
There was an army of us. There was, I think, 60 different Ghostbusters there, maybe more. So it was a fun time. It was very interesting.
Nice.
It's weird to go to a movie and you sit down and before the movie starts, they give you a warning. Turn your phone off. If we see it light up, you're booted out.
Yeah, so they were serious.
And there was no trailers. There was nothing. It was just movie started.
Yeah.
And you take it for granted of how used you are of seeing 20 minutes of trailers before a movie.
Right.
And now you're like, oh wait, I don't have time to get popcorn. It's starting. Oh, it's here.
Right. But to be fair, you didn't have to sit through a trailer of Kung Fu Panda for the 8th time. So
I don't go to movies a lot, so I kind of enjoy trailers.
I go to a lot of movies with my kids, and with my daughter, my family, we go to a lot of movies, and usually it's fine. But when we get into a little marathon, that there's 3 great movies happening all at the same time, we're kind of seeing the same trailers over and over again, and that gets monotonous after a while. You saw it in style. My family attended the Saturday night show at AMC like a bunch of peasants, but let's talk about it.
To be fair, we went and seen it outside of that so that Katie could go and some of our other guys from the group could go. We just went and seen it like peasants too on Friday. So.
Okay, I feel better.
Yeah.
This was one of the movies I was looking forward the most to see this year so far, and it got mixed reviews, as you know.
The review. I don't get me started about the reviews.
Yeah, but I don't. If you're a fan of genre movies, you really cannot look at the reviews. Let's get it out of the way right now. I liked it. I liked it a lot. What was your take? I have a whole list of my observations and bits and happy parts and complaints, and we're going to talk about that.
I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it the first viewing. The second viewing, I enjoyed it more because I was able to look a little for Easter eggs and fun stuff. But I really had a good time. I thought it had a lot of heart, and it was a fun movie.
I thought what I want to say is that it was very cute.
It was cute.
It was. I mean, you can't. It had something for the fans of the old school Ghostbusters. It had something for the people who were becoming new fans of Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And I think they did a really good job of introducing different themes and stuff like that throughout the movie.
Yeah, I'm going to get into that too here. You know, not really a lot of new characters here, but this is definitely should not be your first Ghostbusters movie. The first one should always be.
Yes.
You really do. You kind of got to treat yourself to seeing Afterlife first.
Oh yeah. If that's your first Ghostbusters movie, that's fine. You got to start anywhere but here. This is the sequel of sequels, and
There's a lot of character development. For different characters within this film, where you probably.
Can I do one show without an ambulance going by here? Sorry, folks. Go ahead.
It's I don't even remember what I was saying.
Character
development.
Yeah,
Character
there was
development.
character
So,
development.
to have not seen the first one prior, it'd be a little fall on deaf ears.
It was good. Yeah, there was good character development. I'm going to touch on that here. I'd like to start with one of the story decisions because I dive into this. I look at these things as not only a fan of the genre, but kind of as a movie reviewer. I did a lot of that in high school and college, and I did a lot of movie write-ups, and I still miss doing that. But I'd like to start with one of the story decisions I thought was kind of bold, and I'd like your opinion on this because I think fans. I have not read all the fan message boards.
Yeah.
Just haven't had time. But I'll bet I'm assuming fans are very divided on this decision because it never had happened in a Ghostbusters movie before that I really think in any way that matters, and it definitely set the stage for future possibilities. But in a word, Melanie.
Yeah.
Melanie.
Fans are. I'm starting to see more and more people are more divided on that.
I'm right. Okay.
Yeah, no, but I thought that was interesting because it's kind of playing up that Phoebe has a unique gift. She can see people. You see the rest of the Ghostbusters, the ghosts are usually either like really kind of like zombies, generic kind of ghosts, or they're
Slimer.
Yeah.
That's a good question. Is that a Phoebe gift or is that just a choice?
I think they're playing up that that's like her special link to the afterlife and why she wants to do this. Because like spoiler for Afterlife if you haven't seen it, seeing her grandfather and he's a fully formed, we didn't really see that.
But the others saw him too. That's why I'm not totally on board with.
But the others saw
Phoebe's.
Melody too. But they are attracted to her. She was the first one to see them.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that's something they're playing up.
I don't know about that because Phoebe was the first one to see it, and I seriously thought they were going to bring back.
Oh, I did too.
Grandfather.
I saw it.
That was a good.
Yeah.
That was a good, bait and switch. They showed that in the trailer, and I was like, oh, she's playing chess in the park, and it's moving. Oh, they're going to do it.
That was a good bait and switch. Yeah. That was a good misdirect. But the others, they all saw Egon too. She chose Phoebe, in my opinion, because she was going to be the most tempted to get what she wanted.
Yeah, there's that, but like in the spirit world, there is that though. Like we've done ghost investigations, and real ones, not just doing the Ghostbusters thing, and you see that where there's somebody who is it's basically they're attracted to that person, and then once they go to that person, everyone else can see it or see the manifestations.
Okay.
And so that's a normal kind of occurrence in that world.
And the reason I said it was different from any other movie, as far as I thought, was we've seen human non-smoky ghosts in this series before.
Right.
But they've been silent and brief. There was Egon. There was a pants unzipping ghost from the first movie.
There's also the Scoleri brothers who just roared and made
they
noises.
looked like they were very freakish.
Yeah, freakish, cartoony.
Yeah, this
kinda.
was a very coherent, verbally communicating human
Yeah.
being. This has not been done yet.
Yeah, no,
it was. It took me. It was weird.
Yeah,
it was weird. It was cool, but
I agree with you. Said it's a bold choice.
Yeah.
I mean, like I didn't hate it. I liked it. I thought it was nice because Phoebe made a friend.
yes.
Yeah, she made a friend.
Yeah.
Was there? I felt. Are we getting into some sort of sexual awakening subtext
What
to
did I
it.
tell
Yeah.
you? What did I
I'm
tell
sorry,
you?
I felt it was there.
That
They,
was not a friendship. That was her first big crush. She's within the spectrum.
I think she might be too. They
She is.
didn't push it. They
But-
didn't
but-
push that, but I
but-
felt it.
I'm sorry.
Hey.
I've been a teenage girl. I know that mom cry was a lot more. I got my heart broken than.
You can also easily confuse the first person that actually speaks to you like a person as
But
something that's not really there.
That's also being, growing and becoming an adult and going through, she
That's-
doesn't really have friends
Yeah.
that she, speaks to on her own.
It's also very possible that
Yeah.
podcast was so. I love seeing again.
Yeah.
But podcast was so busy with his new buddy,
Yeah.
Ray,
Right.
that left her kind of alone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Kind of
So,
sidelined.
Yeah.
So she was
sad,
vulnerable.
lonely,
to that. Yeah.
vulnerable. You already see ghosts.
But that really brings me back to, that second point I was going to make. Once again, McKenna Grace is infinitely likable.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely more self-assured this time around.
Definitely.
I did like the winks after the joke. That was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Her bad jokes are still there, but
Yeah.
she's more self-assured. She's
Yeah.
not quite as awkward as she
Yeah,
used to be.
there's definitely some growing in the time between, which is
Yeah.
kind of why I'm excited about that new Ghostbusters comic, because that's actually officially licensed from Sony to fill in the gaps between when they left Oklahoma to get back to New York.
Now I got to read that tonight. Okay. So moving on to next point, Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson's presence for me, more than 2 minutes were so welcome.
Oh,
Those two.
well, first of all, I want to know what
bonded.
Ernie Hudson's doing. That man is in his 70s and he looks wonderful. I don't look that well, and I'm in my 40s. Like,
They
Yeah.
weren't overused. They weren't too little. It wasn't used too little.
No.
They were such big parts of that movie.
Oh, yeah.
And it was more. They were, the director was right. It was more than just a cameo.
yeah,
It was. I just felt this great, happy warmth seeing Ray really befriending these guys and inviting them into his life.
yeah,
It really seemed to me like this was more of a solid passing of the torch type film than
Well, way more than the last one was,
yes,
right?
yeah. Because you come away from this going, okay, now we know the new guard is here and they
Yeah.
know what they're doing, and those
Without
guys-
killing off the old guard, they're
Right.
they're not doing the heavy lifting.
yeah. They
anymore.
didn't take the cheap way out and just kill them all off. And like,
God. It could be argued that Paul Rudd and Carrie Coon for me were pretty much just props in the movie, I thought, other than being borderline parental authority figures. But Bill Murray might have just sat this one out and it wouldn't have mattered
Yeah.
at all. And is it possible, when it comes to Ghostbusters, if he's not the lead, he doesn't belong in the room? There's my deep question.
That's a deep question. I mean, I think so.
Is it a waste for him to be there if he is not the lead?
So what I'm hearing now, and I've seen photos from Variety and stuff, there's a whole ton of stuff that they had to cut for time,
Ah.
and a lot of that's the Bill Murray. There's a lot of Bill Murray stuff in there.
Oh no.
Yeah, because like there's a photo that was online that showed him in his winter jacket having like a pep talk with Paul Rudd in front of the containment unit when it was first cracked.
Oh, now the movie's ruined.
So there is talk
Okay.
that there's going to be a big director's cut edition that's coming
Okay.
out with tons of like bonus stuff and that. But hey, at least you didn't do what the Hobby did and ran out and bought the red coat.
Right.
Yeah, the red coats that didn't really show up in the movie. But yeah, Bill Murray, I feel it wasn't just enough that it wasn't overpowering for him, because otherwise he would have stolen the show.
Yeah, and that's what he's that sort of personality, that
Yeah.
sort of actor, and that sort of legacy that if he's not going to steal the show, why is he
Why am I
there?
coming in? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think that may have some to do with him as a person.
Right.
Now, in his career, that it's like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
The fact
mean-
that he's willing to do Ghostbusters stuff when for 30 years
Yeah, we're
he
so happy that
wouldn't
he's
touch
there.
it.
Yeah, but I kind of wish that he would have had more to do. I think his best scene, honestly, was the interview with
That was great.
with the fire master.
That was great.
Bringing back the next point: funny addition or strange presence?
Which one? Which one?
The fire master.
The Fire Master. I thought that was a nice.
Nutty.
I thought it was a nice plot point to help move the story along and show, like, you know, because that was an Easter egg in there for the non-Ghostbusters thing with the brass and having to change the proton stream and do all that. That was very reminiscent of the Extreme Ghostbusters cartoon in the 90s.
Okay.
Because the whole premise of that was the ghosts came back, they're more powerful, and we had to change how we use, and that's why they had different proton packs and all of that.
This is really weird that you're, we haven't rehearsed this at all, but we're segueing. Everything you've said segues into my next statement, which is, did this feel very much like an episode of the Ghostbusters animated series? How do you do that?
It was meant to. They grew up big fans. I mean, Jason Reitman grew up on the set of Ghostbusters 1 and 2.
Wow.
You know, he helped, you know, Jason Reitman, you know, having his hand in the pot. Remember, he's the kid that says, my dad thinks you're full of crap. So,
at the birthday party.
Yeah, at
Oh,
the
that's
birthday
right.
party,
Yeah, okay.
And then, you know, Gil Keenan is his buddy, and the two of them worked on this movie. And I guess the more interesting thing that just came out in the last few days is that before Ivan Reitman died, they got to show him the script, and he signed off on it.
Okay.
He loved it.
Well, it wasn't a bad movie.
Yeah,
Again,
so-
I mean, there are a few things that I didn't like. And,
And I think that's what's that more cartoony thing, because if you weren't a super fan of the real Ghostbusters, and that's one of those things, like watching it totally reminded me of watching an episode of Real Ghostbusters.
But this wasn't as cartoony as the second Ghostbusters movie, and I know you feel like I hate it more than I really do. It's just my least favorite of the four in canon Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters 2 is a funny thing in Ghostbusters. Either you love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
And, you know, or, you know, you're in somewhere in between, because
I loved I loved the whole movie and all the characters in it, you know, just the Statue of Liberty kind of.
yeah, well, Ghostbusters 2, that was a good example of the studio kind of pushing in a little too much and had a little too much input. There's a lot of, which is weird because it's been 30 years and only a few of them have come out. There's a lot of interesting stuff that's been coming out that was cut from the movie.
Yeah.
And some of that they brought back in Frozen Empire, like the Ecto being possessed. There was supposed to be a scene in Ghostbusters 2, which in the comic books, it actually played out because they got the early draft script of it, where Ray gets possessed with the Ecto and drives like a crazy man. And one of the scenes made it in Ghostbusters 2 when they're taking the corner and it looks like the car's going to tip over.
Yeah.
Because it almost did tip over.
That's really common in Ghostbusters. In all movies, is sometimes things get dropped down the script and they make it into a later script.
Right, or they, you know, like that with the But that's actually one of the more sought after comic books for that reason, from the Now series of the 80s, because that's the original shooting script it's based off of for Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah. This is such a good conversation that all of a sudden I'm paranoid that it's not filming anymore. I don't have someone back here, but yeah, it is. I'm just, you know, I'm worried about our sophomore show here. And yeah, we're fine. Okay,
I
cool.
don't know if you're planning on circling back to it, but Paul Rudd,
Yes.
there was a glimpse within a scene that happened at the very end that I was like, okay, character development, when McKenna Grace, Phoebe, called him dad. And that was
That was a touching part. No, that wasn't even subtle.
And
That
it-
was,
that was just
And on that note of Paul Rudd, I think Paul Rudd really, realistically for me, I didn't think he was a prop because I feel like he's the next generation of Dan Aykroyd as Ray Stantz.
and I immediately regret calling him a prop.
Yeah.
What I meant by that was I just didn't think there was a lot for him to do,
Right.
as opposed to the last movie.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot, but the stuff that he did, like that heart, like the moment of him singing out the theme song, because he's like,
That was
come on, you know, Busted makes me feel good.
That was cute.
Yeah, like he's the heart. He's more excited to be there than anyone else.
Oh yeah.
He was
He was a Ghostbusters geek. as
Yeah,
it
yeah. They set up an afterlife. Oh, in the '80s, I love this. It was like Walking Dead. Now it's like I get to be a Ghostbuster. I get to drive the car. This is the most amazing thing in my life.
Do you have something?
No,
Something?
good. Just
Okay. The villain Garaka, I believe his
Yes.
name was. Yeah. Imposing and dangerous. He was a very imposing, dangerous character.
Yeah.
He didn't even have the bonus points of appearing as a bubble-covered, naked Pat Benatar look-alike. You know, he was just creepy and dangerous looking.
Bonus points for being the first Ghostbusters villain that actually killed someone.
That's true. Yeah, I mean,
He's
he
the
was a
only
threat.
one who actually made it seem like a legit threat.
And that opening scene was really well done, spooky. I got
The
chilly in
hand, the
theater.
hand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did this work for you, or do you prefer a Ghostbusters film with a quirky threat?
I liked it.
You know?
I liked it better. They were
'Cause
going
this
a
was
little
a
dark.
change.
I really did like it because it was going a little dark. They went,
Yeah.
you know,
Not too dark, but it was.
right.
Some of the animated series, they had really no nonsense villains
Oh
they
yeah.
had to deal with.
If you watch the cartoon, you're like, this is only could have been made in the '80s because standards and practices would not allow this today.
Right.
Because like I was rewatching it not too long ago, and there's a scene where they're in the subway, and they are the most horrifying cartoon zombies that I've ever seen. And I'm like, this is the inspiration for Walking Dead right here. Robert Kirkman watched this as a kid and went, zombies. That's what zombies.
One thing I liked was they mentioned there was a video footage of mentioning the incident in New York City with
Yes.
the Statue of Liberty. Well, they canonized the movie.
Yes.
If anyone was ever, kind
On
of
the
wondering,
fence.
did Ghostbusters 2 count? Yes, it did.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool.
Well, that was one of the funny things when people were playing the Is It Canon game in Afterlife,
Yeah.
and they go to the biggest thing from Ghostbusters 2, which was Ray's occult books.
Right.
So I
Well, yeah, right there. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's your proof.
that is your proof.
I just
but
thought it was funny that they kind of
The reference.
avoided referencing it,
my favorite thing about that opening montage was they found a way to put it that it was canon in universe that them dancing with Ray Parker Jr. actually happened.
Right. They actually filmed that.
Like it
video.
was there was the actual music video, and they were like the guest stars because they were so hot.
I like the throwback to the old the toy.
Oh yeah,
that was a legitimate toy commercial.
yes, that was one of the
Yeah.
actual Kenner toy commercials.
They probably had to go back and get the rights for the kids that appeared in that commercial.
Yeah, someone's getting a residual now for the Ghostbusters movie for that team. And they're like, oh wow,
That was great.
Those are gonna be
Radical.
crazy.
Mayor Walter Peck was
That was
wonderful
such-
to see him again, even though he's showing his age.
oh well, yeah, they all are showing their age there.
But my question isn't it safe to assume that although he does hate these guys, he seems to grudgingly has accepted the existence of the supernatural? It's these guys have a job, they do it, I have to live with it.
That's the story I've always wanted to hear.
Yeah.
What happened to him day 2 after the marshmallow? After getting covered in 30 tons or whatever of melted marshmallow,
Yeah.
and going, as I know he was one of the guys who sued the pants off of him,
Yeah.
I'm sure. But what happened there? Like,
Well, I assume the EPA, because of the Ghostbusters popularity, the EPA forced him to, just drop this.
Right.
Yeah, please drop it. And he went on with his career and eventually went into politics.
Yeah.
Obviously.
So yeah, like I said,
But
begrudgingly,
still
he
holds
is.
a
Yeah, oh yeah, he still has that grudge. That was the only moment, like I will say, that I thought was too short. Was I wanted more when Bill Murray turns around and goes, "Oh, Peck." I wanted to see more of that. I was waiting for them to start bickering
And
back and forth.
maybe that's going to be the.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping, because I was like, that was the only thing I felt where I was like, oh,
We got shortchanged.
We got shortchanged on this.
As I recall, in the original trailer, I'm sure you've seen the trailers a bit more than I have, but I have watched it several times. And there was just this one sequence, the voiceover of Walter Peck in the voiceover was saying, you blew up a tenement building, no witnesses, as if we have no proof that it ever happened, even though we got doused by marshmallow. That particular sequence and that feeling that nobody believes you really saved the world, that didn't come through in this movie. I think they cut it. I think, and it kind of shows to me that he doesn't like you guys just because you have the balls to humiliate me publicly.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that he doesn't believe that.
It's not discrediting what you're doing.
Yeah, right. He's not discrediting them. He just doesn't like the
He
person.
doesn't like you.
Yeah, he's not a fan after what he went through with the mayor and everything else. Because
Right. Yeah, so he's
Personal vendetta.
in the first two movies, the mayors, whoever was working for him, either the EPA or that slimy other lawyer that worked for him,
Yeah.
they flat out just thought they were scam artists. He wasn't calling them a scam artist. I don't think I got that. I don't think.
No, he was.
He had moved past calling them.
Oh yeah, he knew that there was something, but he's like, I don't care. I don't want you guys.
Right.
I think it would have been one of those. If there was a rival company,
Yeah.
I'd have backed that rival company.
Okay.
That's why he's like, I'm getting rid of your firehouse. I'm condemning it. I want
Right.
it gone. I want you guys
So you're
gone.
feeling that too. He doesn't
Yeah.
think they're frauds anymore. He just doesn't like them.
Oh, yeah, he knows. He got covered in that marshmallow. He knows. Because that's the thing. You could try to say it didn't happen, but somewhere there's a 8mm footage of someone got that marshmallow man, the news crew, because they were all outside that building. They showed the news was out there, everyone.
You know,
you can't miss
The Customs of Bruder film.
in the real world, him being hit by that marshmallow
What a
goop
problem.
would have been turned into like 20 different memes.
Oh, yeah.
Over and over.
Yeah, if
by
this
now.
would've happened now-
Of course he would have hated it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So I like the movie a lot. What really, I think where it went off the rails for me, where my Statue of Liberty moment was her transferring her soul out and very quickly brass plating her equipment to get the job done. It seemed a weird, contrived, convenient way to that. It didn't kill the movie for me, but I think that's where it failed for me.
I was expecting it for her to have to go and grab her cap that she put under her bed, like that she put under there. I thought that was going to be the super secret, like, oh, this
And
is
that's
what we're
what
going to
it
do.
was. She brass plated that one.
But not just brass plated, but just like
Oh, yeah, like that was going to be the
the
secret
fact that
win.
she like thought,
Well,
oh, I can do this and do
Christina
crap.
felt like what she did probably should have taken several days,
At least a
at
few
least
hours.
for a 15-year-old.
Yes, I agree with you there.
Yeah, that was a very convenient plot device.
Yeah, and I think that's what hurt the movie for me, and that's the only thing that hurt it for me.
So I'm like, you're
That-
doing this on the stovetop?
You're right.
Really?
Right.
Blowtorch.
Yes. Yeah, I
Okay.
know she's a talented kid, but that was weird. But it was a good movie, though. You get past that, though. It's a fun Ghostbusters
Oh, yeah.
movie, and I want to see another one.
Yeah, it was a fun ride. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The best part for me was when they brought back the library ghost.
A good old cameo.
Yeah.
There was another residual coming from whoever.
Just that library ghost, I love it.
That was when I saw it in the library. That was the original librarian
Yeah.
who said, "No, you're not allowed here anymore."
Dr.
I can
Stance,
see
you're
his
not allowed
face.
within 50 feet. Yeah, that was the original librarian.
That's
And then a fun Easter egg
kept
that
his
just,
job.
that just popped
Yeah.
up is I guess when they walk past one of the signs,
Yeah.
there's a thing for a concert for Dana Barrett, and that's how they dropped
no
an Easter egg for her in
man,
there.
That's
Yeah.
cool. I really wanted this. I
Oh,
wanted
we
this.
all wanted Rick Moranis, but he won't do it. He wouldn't
Yeah.
do the video game. He won't do any of the movies.
That's sad.
That moment when they're like, we got to get everyone, and the door knocks. As much as it's like it's great to see, see Bill Murray, it would have been even better to see Rick Moranis going,
Yes.
who does your taxes?
I got a big, glowing, happy feeling. We saw it in the trailer, but him yelling, "That's in uniform."
Yeah,
that was
a big
her
moment.
little smile.
Yeah.
just
It was a big moment because that's the first time that's happened on screen. You got to see it in the cartoon.
and I think that's a big reason they did that. They
Yeah.
wanted her to let her wield it,
Yeah.
let her wield the blaster.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Any other Easter eggs you saw that most of us probably didn't, or things we should be looking?
I think those are the big ones right now because I know like those ones are coming out. Other than everyone pointed out for some strange reason, even though Dan Aykroyd is the king of Ghostbusters technology and he's handled 100 proton packs, been in Casper and everything else with it. For whatever reason, if you watch when Bill Murray knocks on the door, he holds it weirdly with his left hand, and he's got it like this instead of holding it where they can actually hold the trigger, and he's got it like
Maybe it was new.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a new build.
Maybe
So-
he had tendonitis or something.
yeah, it was just, but it was
We want to hear a story.
That's
This is the sort of thing only you, by the way, you freak,
Yeah.
you would notice.
He held it like this and not
well, no,
like that.
this is something that I didn't notice at first. It was pointed out to
Okay,
me in
okay.
the Ghostbusters
By another
community.
Ghostbuster?
Well,
Yeah,
whoever noticed that you're a freak for that.
yeah,
Oh my God.
yeah. That was a big talk about that.
I did, by the way, I did like the inclusion of the Ghost Lab.
Yeah, the Ghost
I mean-
Lab was awesome.
That's Winston's putting his money into this,
Right.
and that was super cool. It was a fun movie.
It was fun.
It was just a fun movie. I will add it to my DVD collection.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was a fun movie. Like I said, I'll probably go see it again before it's out of the theater. I
Sure.
doubt that.
Sure. I'm not sure we're gonna have time. There's so many other
Yeah.
things coming out all the time, but Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and yeah, I totally recommend it. But,
Yeah, like I said, if you like Ghostbusters, you're familiar with it at all, and you've seen Afterlife and you enjoyed that, go watch it. Don't listen to the critics because.
What did I say earlier? I was trying to explain to you earlier. There was Ghostbusters 1 and then Ghostbusters 2. I like them both,
Right.
but there was a ramp down for Ghostbusters 2. For this one, there was a ramp down for this one, but it wasn't as steep. You know,
it was a subtle.
it was a subtle, not as
Like those
fun.
wood slack.
Yeah.
photos.
I mean, one of the big problems with this movie is when it's very transparent that all the characters who were in the last movie, they're almost being shoehorned into this. They're all conveniently living in New York City now,
just
transplanted from
Just so
Oklahoma.
happens that we are all in
Yeah,
Oklahoma
it would have been
now.
nice. That's where there was some missing exposition of
Yeah.
we get it, but it's just such a small thing. Oh, Lucky, you're here because you're doing an internship with Winston, and oh wait, podcast, you're here because you're internshipping with Ray.
And it's very clear they had made connections in the first
Yeah.
movie. Sure, that could happen, but it all happened way too conveniently.
And-
for all of them.
Right.
And that's one thing I want to touch base on is, oh my God, the mini puffs. Those things are
Those things are
the
insane.
most
and I love them.
deranged but cutest thing they could have ever come up with for a Ghostbusters.
This is
thing.
like Minions on crack.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, they're
It is. Wow, let me light myself on fire. I'm gonna.
The one got inhaled, and it was just like.
they're so happy about
Yeah.
it. Picture Minions crossed over with Happy Tree Friends.
Yeah.
This is what I think
That's
of
exactly
the
what you get.
marshmallows.
That one with the 9-volt, he's sitting there, he's shocking his face, and he.
Oh God, I can't see the picture of the guy that put the cigarette lighter to his face and left all these little burn rings.
Yeah.
He's like,
We're so happy.
that's really.
Love them. I want them all.
Yeah. It's such a fun moment when you're like, I think they're breeding.
They're everywhere.
I didn't hear
Bunny.
that line.
Yeah, after he smashes him with the hammer.
Right.
And he's like, oh, these things are gross. And he's like, I think they're breeding.
Why did those cursed objects have to get destroyed with a hammer?
Oh, speaking of an Easter egg too for Ghostbusters 2,
Yeah.
in the lab, I don't know if you caught when they were walking away to go see the Garaka orb for the first time,
Yeah.
there's someone getting hit with the slime blower. There's a
No. Oh, they were tested.
Yeah, there's someone in a Ghostbusters uniform standing there like this, and
The emotion charge.
Yep, and there was a little girl with the cannon just. And with the mood slime as well, that was what she brought him here. I need to bring you the sample of mood
Oh,
slime.
they just had fun with this movie. Well, anyway, thanks for talking about it, guys. We appreciate it.
pleasure.
Here's if you stuck around this long or you just skipped to the end, like I said, here's some of the stuff coming out at Screaming Monkey Comics. Grab something before it vanishes. Here we go in 60 seconds. Here's what's new.
Just arrived at Screaming Monkey Comics.
All right, gentlemen, I want you to repeat after me, just how I do it. Ready? Your turn. Very good. Go ahead now. Good golly. Bring it around now. Ladies. Good golly. Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Mr. Charlie Puth on keys. Yeah! Bring the beat back.
Let me see you better boop when the beat drops.
Your turn. Very good. Ladies. Good golly. Your turn. Very good.
thank you guys. Mark, Katie, thank you so much for coming out. Appreciate it. This was a blast. We'll be back here next week for more shenanigans. I'm sure something's gonna happen in the next week. We're coming up on Free Comic Book Day pretty soon.
And we'll be here Free Comic Book Day, all set up with a table. Come
That's
see us.
right. And yeah, please give me your information so I can pass it along to everyone else. Once again, check the comments below so you can find out more about their fine organization. Thank you so much,
you're
guys.
welcome.
Love you both. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so
for
much.
coming out. And have a great weekend. Please stay out of trouble. Read something. Be good. Take care. See you later. Bye.